Hello teachers, this is a brief video to show you how to use the CAASPP interface, the CAASPP portal. To get to the portal, you'll enter caaspp.org, that's CAASPP.org. Once you get to the CAASPP portal, looks like this. It gives you several options depending on your role. The first option that you can consider is to go directly to the test administrator interface for all online tests. That is where you will start tests or authorize IAB administrations for your class. But I'm going to take you, hold on for a second. I also want to point out you can do practice and or training tests. When you click on the practice and or training tests, you can administer practice tests or training tests with your students in a classroom environment. It's a way for you to help to train students in a whole class environment. Any student can see these. In fact, anybody in the public can see these. So if you want to assign them for homework, parents then can get a look at these. It's perfectly legal for parents to look at training tests and practice tests. All right. The next thing I want to point out is when you go to the Smarter Balanced Interim Assessments tab. I'm going to click on that. And here you have, there's two things that I would like to point out. One is the interim assessment viewing system that allows you to, as a teacher, to look at interim assessment blocks, that's IABs, and also focused interim assessment blocks, that's FIABs. And you are allowed, as a teacher, to view all of the questions that are on each of the IABs, and that I'll show you how that works. Also, in this page or on this site, it's the test administrator interface for all online tests. That's the exact same location as I showed you in the previous page. So first, as a teacher, let's imagine that you would like to assign an IAB to your students or to your class. So you click on this. The first thing you want to do is figure out which one you would like to assign. So this interface allows you to choose a grade level. And once you choose your grade level, it'll show you all of the interim assessments that are available. And there are quite a few of them, maybe 2 or even 3 dozen of them. If you'll look at the names of them, this is an FIAB, that stands for Focused Interim Assessment Block. And let's see if I can find an IAB. Let's see. Yes, here's an IAB, and that one is an interim assessment block. The difference between the two is the interim assessment block will cover more targets, and the FIAB will cover fewer targets. So it's a more focused IAB. Let's take a look at what this IAB offers. The first thing, once you click on it, the first thing it will do is ask you, can you hear? And the answer is yes. And as soon as you click yes to that, it will begin an assessment that you are allowed to view. Again, this is a secured viewing, and what that means is that no person who is not authorized to view IABs can see this. So this is not open to parents or the public or any other person that is not part of the authorized users. Okay, so why would you do this? Well, you have to choose which of the IABs you would like to assign to your students. And so this allows you to go through the IAB, answer the questions as if you were a student. And it also gives you practice. It says here, click on the words in the paragraph that are spelled incorrectly. So let's see if I can find one that's spelled with their beaks here, right here. Beaks, I think, is incorrectly spelled. And then I can go forward. Okay, so this just gives you an idea of what the questions are like, and it allows you to step through the test. Notice how I'm stepping through using the next button. Also allows you to go back so you can look at all the questions. If you miss one, you can go back. Like the student version, you can save your progress, you can pause your progress, and so forth. So this is a place where teachers can view the content of the FIAB and also practice using the navigation tools so that you can get a sense for the kind of questions they're going to be asked of the students and the ways that the students are going to be asked to interact with with the with the test. Okay, so enough about that. I'm going to leave. If you want, once you've decided which of the tests you would like to administer, I'm going to say click on the Test Administrator interface for all online tests. And once you click on that, notice over here, there will be a selection of active sessions and upcoming sessions. You can define those. I will define some of those. But if you would like to start a new session for your class, click on the Start a New Session. Please note that we are currently in an open testing environment for the California alternate assessment, so do not click on that. And the California Spanish assessments also do not click on that. So you should not click on either of these, but you can click on the Smarter Balanced Interim Assessments. So once you click on that, it will say, would you rather have the Interim Comprehensive Assessment? I don't think most teachers will want that because that covers a large number of targets. Instead, you'll probably want to select the IAB, so the Interim Assessment Blocks. Once I click on that, it'll allow me to choose either ELA or mathematics. I'll choose ELA, and then you can choose your grade level. I'm going to choose 3rd grade. And if you remember, the test that we previewed using the preview viewer was the FIAB for editing. So I'll click on that. It's going to remind you that this is not for public exposure or distribution, and all users with access to interim assessment should take the necessary measures to maintain the integrity of the assessments. That means don't show it to anybody, except for students when they're taking the assessment. Okay? Once I have done that, you'll notice up here it says the FIAB editing. It's called editing. And let me see here. I'm going to manner of administration, standardized best benchmark. I'll choose. And then I will start an operational session. Once I start the operational session, notice up here that it gives me the session ID. That is the ID number that you will need to give to your students so that they can log in and begin taking this assessment. So over here, the instructions tell you, select the test button, mark the check boxes for the test you wish to include, and then press the start session, which is what we just did. Press the approvals button for each student. So as the students log on, you are required to approve them so that you recognize that they are one of your students, one of the expected students to be taking this assessment. And then you may monitor their progress to watch how they progress through the assessments. All right, this is straightforward. A few things to remind you of. Number one, with the exception of the practice tests, all of these assessments are secure. That means only you and other people who have signed the agreement are allowed to see them, and your students are allowed to see them during the practice tests that they are taking, and nobody else. All right, if you have any questions, you can certainly email me, and I'm glad to assist you. Thank you very much.